needs one host when you can have four? This is Ready Take Live. Mics are hot. Coming out of graphics.
Live all around.
6 and 7 are Hey everybody, welcome back to Ready Take Live. I am Aubrey Russell, the head of production here at LiveX, where we are filming this in our beautiful master control room, all lit up, multicolor, just for you. We've got a few new faces hosting today, so let's start off by introing the A1 for today.
Hey everybody, my name's Chad Henderson. I'm born and raised from Phoenix, Arizona, and I have recently moved to New York to pursue a career in audio. Started off at LiveX, so it's starting good.
Yeah, and he does talk as softly as most audio engineers if you have any questions. So we've got a good gain on his mic right now. Just kidding. On graphics today, you've got a face that you've seen before, you know and love. He is the past, he is the present, he is the future. The wonderful...
What's up, guys? It's Nick Walsh here. And yeah, thank you for introing the Walsh Carol coming to Broadway in 2021. We get past me, present me, and future me. I'm excited for future me.
It is exciting. It's also terrifying to think about.
Probably very terrifying. Definitely should not be created in a lab.
Oh, God, no, please. Moving on our lovely fourth camera, which we introed last week, we've got the wonderful Anna again.
Hey, guys. Happy to be back. As a reminder, I'll be on Facebook watching all of your comments come in, so shoot us a chat. We'd love to talk to you, hear what you're working on, take any questions you have. So.
Perfect. Let's get started with that 4-box, actually. As always, at the beginning of the show, we'll talk about the latest streaming and events. So what happened this weekend, guys?
I think there was a show yesterday. I can't remember what it was called. I think some of the Roberts. No.
Oh, Roberts.
The Robert Award. No, no, it was the little thing called the Oscars. Everyone's favorite show about movies. Didn't have a host, but a Parasite still won. Riddle me that.
Oh.
What? That was so much funnier earlier, like 20 minutes ago.
You got a better laugh out of that earlier. You did.
Okay. But yeah, so there are no hosts for last night Oscars. They even made a joke about it because they had so many people introing the people who were about to introduce things that by the end of the night they were like, why am I here? I don't know. That was pretty funny. But yeah, it was the second year in a row they didn't have a host at all. And yeah, I'm curious, what did you guys think of them not having a host? Is this like, did it work for you? Did it make, because I know a lot of people have had complaints about award shows just going on for too long. So I wonder if their thinking was without a host that it might be able to make the event feel like it's going faster. So yeah, I'm just wondering what you guys think about them not having a host.
For me, I was like I might have the dissenting opinion here because I enjoyed the Grammys so much. I enjoyed Alicia Keys at the Grammys so much this year because she's not a traditional host. And I felt like she held the night together for us, and she was able to walk us through the very emotional night that it was, with all of the news that broke just moments before they went live, really. So I enjoyed having her so much that it's like, are we missing out on something, losing a host? But I think what made her so strong is that she is the peer of the people that were in the audience. Right, and I think that's why Neil Patrick Harris is always amazing when he hosts the Tonys, right? Because he's a peer. He's not this comedian that they brought in because they need somebody to like keep it up and make it funny. It's somebody who is very authentic to the experience of the night and can just be honest about what's happening.
Yeah, and this is one of the, besides like the Golden Globes, but I feel like the Golden Globes spans a little bit more media than the Oscars does. This is the only night where you're talking about actors who don't act live. Like even Grammys, people are doing live musical performances, not just at the Grammys. They go on tours around the whole country and they perform live, and people are used to being in front of a live audience and know how to captivate people in that way. And the Oscars is... First of all, the very few acting categories, most of them are all behind the scenes categories of people winning, directing, costume design, scenic design, sound design, all of those. So you're not, it's like, how do you pull from a peer in that case? Like you find a Brad Pitt who wants to host the Oscars?
An Academy member, yeah. Well, I guess that's why they feel like they go to like late night hosts because they're kind of pretty consistent and used to the being in front of a lot of people and like the like last minuteness of it and like all the jokes and gags and stuff. That's why I feel like they like lean towards like Jimmy Kimmel and stuff like that before, but that kind of gets old after a while. Personally, I dug that they didn't have hosts. I just wish they didn't feel the need to intro people to intro other people, like, or just they could have done like VO intros or something like that. Because yeah, it just felt like a little bit of like a parade going on, and that's like kind of made it feel like it was longer than it actually was. Because I think there was like a moment where someone introduced someone who someone introduced Lin-Manuel Miranda, who introduced a package which was introing Eminem. So like it was just like a whole like cascade of things, and it was just like an excuse to get like celebrities on stage, and especially for them, like with like diversity being such a huge issue with the nominees, they were trying to like figure out how can we put so many people in there that don't look like the nominees on the broadcast as a way of like apologizing or making up for the fact that the actual nominated people are not very diverse. So I think it was like their attempt to try to do that. But yeah, it's like also a 3.5 hour event. So it's like you got it, or it should have been 3 hours, but it dragged on to 3.5 hours. And like the ceremony is about the performances and the winners and their speeches. And I think just adding more onto that just like makes it feel like it's going on forever.
It's valid. That's valid. But I mean, speaking of diversity, this was a really big night at the Oscars. For those of you who didn't watch, Parasite won Best Picture. Spoiler alert. How many people actually go and watch the full VOD of the Oscars, though, the day after?
Yeah, lots of clips.
Exactly. Or you like go and you see it's like the one thing that you can't really spoil for someone if it's already happened, because no one's going to like watch them like announcing all of the nominees and then waiting to hear it. And they're like, I can't believe you just spoiled that for me.
Yeah, if they have like a phone that's connected to the internet, then they probably know who won already before they watched.
Exactly. But Parasite won. I have not seen Parasite yet. Who's
it's
seen
good.
Parasite?
It's good.
Walsh has seen just Walsh.
Okay, cool. I actually saw all the Best Picture nominees, which was my first time doing this year. Because I was like so close, so I was like, might as well watch the last two because I'm here.
And it's the first not foreign language. We've changed the category title, so it's international.
Yeah, so the new category title is Best International Film, which is weird because like technically a film from the United States is an international film, but it's a weird thing. But it is the first non-English film to win Best Picture Oscar, and at the same time also win the new international category, which used to be called Best Foreign Language Film.
But it also is the first non-English film to win Best Picture flat out.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because the only other one I thought of was the silent film that won a couple of years ago, The Artist.
I think that was Made in America.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's still not. There's written word that's English, so it's not international in that way. But I did think about that one when they were announcing Parasite.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chad, did you want to 1917 one for sound? Have you seen 1917 yet?
I haven't. It's been on my list for months, but I've heard nothing but great things about it. I was actually reading an article about how they did the sound, because it went sound mixing, but a lot of their location sound, literally every line of dialogue was recorded on set, which is incredibly rare in film. Yeah. So that in its own, I really want to go see it knowing that fact and just knowing how much work they put into making sure it was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, 1970, I'm not into being a filmmaker. That's not my thing. I enjoy watching them. But 1917 was the first film I watched that I was like, man, I really could have loved to be on that set. Just the hype of it all. It kind of has the live atmosphere because it's like, and we've rehearsed this entire take. Now we have to do that entire take in this moment as well. Not that you don't get to do it again, but if you do, every time you do it again, it costs more money. Yeah. So I'm sure they tried. I'm sure Roger tried to get it right on the first one.
Yeah, I know they had like a rule of like once a take starts, you don't stop no matter what happens. You just like keep going because there's like so many moving parts that if like it stops, it's hard to like stop everyone from going on. So there's even that famous shot when he's like running across the trench or whatever, and like people are running into. Oh yeah, there's a trench in World War I movie.
It's in every single preview.
Then he's like running across it, and people are running into him, but he gets up and keeps going. That like wasn't scripted whatsoever, but it was because of their rule of like not stopping, and it ended up being so much more powerful. Like seeing him like physically get knocked down during his goal and stuff. It was great.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for military movies. Just prepare to bring Kleenex, people. It's a good one. It's a tearjerker.
Yeah.
All right. Any other things about the Oscars? I think let's move along. We've got a guest today, just like we did last week. This guest used to be a Live Xer, but once a Live Xer, always a Live Xer. So let's get right into Pro Talk. Like I said, he needs very little introduction, but the one, the only, you've seen him on RTL before, Gaff Pierre.
Yay!
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What you up to, Gaff?
How you guys doing? Pretty good. Right now, we're shooting Morning Combat, almost wrapping up. We started at 12 p.m. noon, and then we'll be finishing up and then getting all the stuff done for post-show. Tomorrow, actually, we are debuting a new show called Stuffed with John Rothstein, and that should air at midnight, so on Tuesday night, midnight, Wednesday morning.
Gotcha. And where are you working now?
Right now, working at Malka Media, specifically for Malka Sports. I'm doing a lot of sports things. Morning Combat is an MMA podcast, and Stuffed with John Rothstein is a college basketball podcast.
Very cool. Very cool. So these are they live to tape then now?
So Morning Combat is actually live. We're technically live right now on YouTube. And then we're going live to tape with Stuffed. So basically, it's going to feel live. We're going to cover all the up-to-date things going on in the college basketball world. And then hopefully while everyone's eating their midnight snacks and enjoying the highlights of what happened during the college basketball world, they can tune into our channel and we can give you guys the recap and all the pressing news happening.
Yeah. How are you loving it? You've always been into UFC and to sports, and to be able to take all your live knowledge and focus it on that all the time. How's it feel, dude?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, especially since I'm covering MMA now. I know that Steven Espinosa, which is the head of Showtime, is now overseeing Bellator, which is a smaller but pretty big MMA promotion. And hopefully we'll start to get covering those fights and then traveling to those as well. So I'm super excited for that.
That's awesome, Gaff. I actually wanted to ask you, because I was trying to hang out the other day, and you were like, oh, I have a thing at Barclays. I have a thing I have to do. I'm so fancy now. What do you do for, like, the live? Is there an aspect of what you do that's live and on location, or is it all the studio shows? Like, did you just have tickets?
Yes.
What was going on there? Yes to all of
So
that?
basically, for every fight week, they fly us out, or if it's local, we just drive to the venue. And there is a pre-fight press conference, the pre-fight weigh-in, and then while the fights are going on, we stream the two fights before the main card. So we basically give a pre-fight show for the main event, and then when Showtime airs the main event on pay-per-view or their channels, afterwards we also do the post-fight press conference.
Okay, and that's streaming coverage?
Yes.
And it's video and audio? Or is it for the
Video
podcast,
and
or is
audio.
it its own
No,
kind of
this is video and audio.
standalone news coverage?
Yeah, it's standalone for Showtime.
Cool.
And it goes on their YouTube. Sorry, did I miss that?
Yeah, it goes on Showtime YouTube as well as ours because we do a little plugs for the show Morning Combat, do a little promo for it, let them know if they want to watch boxing news as well as MMA news, they could come get everything on Morning Combat.
Very cool. There was an image earlier with Luke and his iPad. Can we pull that up, Walsh? That I noticed
that
his
is
iPad stand is super cool. So talk to me about what's going on here.
So basically, this is a Morning Combat Dissected. This is a show that Luke does, basically breaking down the fights of the past weekend, breaking down the nuances. You could actually read right there how he's spatially cognizant, defensively, stuff like that. He likes to notice what the fighter's good at, break it down so it's easily digestible for everyone else.
But this
the way
iPad,
he controls that is on that iPad.
The iPad.
Let the
Walsh is,
iPad
like,
stand.
Really pushing this.
So the iPad is basically it's Chromecasted to the TV screen, and he has functionality on it to scrub through footage as well as put up his own graphics in an in-house program.
That's awesome. Thank you, Walsh, for making sure everyone knew which iPad in that screen we were discussing.
And it's so small.
It's really helpful visual aid that you just provided everyone. That's awesome. So obviously Saturday night, UFC 247. We actually had Caitlin Chukagian. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
She was in our studio a couple of weeks ago for the Fubo Sports Network.
Really?
Yeah, she
That's
came into the
awesome.
show with us. Yeah. Unfortunately, didn't win on Saturday night.
Yeah.
But were
She
you
takes the
working?
same train as me, actually. No, I was not working.
What a fun fun fact.
Commuting buddies.
Yeah, yeah. She lives in Amityville, and I live in Lyndhurst. That's the town next to mine. So she actually lives right by my cousin.
Do you and your cousin stop by and say hi to her?
No.
No.
She's probably never home. She's probably always at Henzo Gracie's gym in New York City. That's why she's always on the train.
Are you loving it though, dude? I love when people can pull, like their hobby or what they like to do for fun and put their work and what they're really good at and meld them together. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I love it so far. I'm doing everything I really wanted to do. Just getting to meet fighters, getting to meet journalists that I always idolized, like Luke. So yeah, it's a really cool experience. Something I didn't think was possible. I was always a fan, but for that opportunity to pop up, I knew I had to take it. So
That's awesome.
just got lucky, I
That's
guess.
awesome,
That's not luck. That's hard work. Congrats, dude. And thank you for
appreciate it.
coming on
Thank
the
you.
show.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you didn't have to wear 2 headsets like you did last time you were on the show.
Just 2 earbuds. Just 2 earbuds.
We just made Chad do it this time. All right. Well, thank you so much, Gaff, and we'll see you around. You should definitely hit up Anna, though. She obviously wants to hang out.
Yes, we definitely do have to hang out.
Don't
I was
leave her
supposed to
hanging.
that weekend. We're supposed to have a huge get together.
Yeah, it'll be a big get together. It's not just us.
Okay. Well, there's the laugh. All right, dude. We'll see you around.
All right, thank you guys. Have a good one.
Bye. That was awesome. We love having former LiveXers. I'm going to use this moment and let Nick Walsh repo himself into the LiveX studio. Anna is going to slide over in some non-movie magic and get ready the next graphic for me. And you saw the beginning of this last week, our new segment where we bring in a piece of gear and we talk about it. You can ask us questions. If you have any questions about what we've talked about so far, please comment on Facebook. Anna is curating these. We'll bring them in. You might see your comments on screen. We're all about the interactivity, all about building community. So please use this time to do that. And next up, we've got our segment, Studio Demo.
What's up, everyone? Nick Walsh here again. Did you miss me? Over here, today we're going to look at Perkin Bot. Perkin Bot is basically a switcher in a suitcase. It's this portable guy, fits in the overhead carry-on compartment of an airplane, and you could do pretty much anything from here. It comes with vMix pre-installed, so that will act as your software switcher, and you could connect it in whichever way you like. We like to call this the Swiss Army knife of production because we'll use this as an encoder, and we'll just take a program feed and plug it right in to do streams to multiple websites. We'll also use this as a graphics bot, and I'll get into capture cards in a second about how we make that work. And so we'll just have this in line for key fill on ATEM or any other switcher. And then sometimes we'll also just do the whole show on here and use vMix's great abilities to bring in graphics and cameras and all of their composition skills and everything, and color correction, SRT, all of that we're able to do from here in a portable way. It's pretty great. It has server grade specs, has a really good graphics card, 1080 on here, as well as a great CPU, an i7, and 32 gigs of RAM. So like it's pretty much ready to do whatever. My favorite part about it is the SSD slots over here, and you could actually take your own 2.5 inch 1 terabyte drive, 2 terabyte drive, whatever, screw it in over here, and then you have hot swaps, or you could just plug them in. You don't even need to eject them, and they just show up as another internal drive inside the computer. So it's really great if you want to load these with assets. You just set them up with all your ProRes assets, let's say, and you could bring them here, and you don't need to transfer files or move anything off of a USB or anything like that. It's all direct SATA, so it's really, really fast. On the side here, we also have some XLR ports as well as some SDI. This guy is a Switch 8, so that means it has 8 bidirectional SDI channels, and that is customizable. We like to use the AJA Corvid 88 cards, but if you're a Blackmagic fan and you'd rather have a quad in there, we could totally put one of those in here for you. So it's kind of to whatever specifications you want. For example, for graphics, when we have a production bot that we want to use for graphics, we'll either put in a quad or we'll put in the new DeckLink 8K. So I guess they're not new anymore, but they've been out for a little while now, but the 8Ks, and we'll use those for key fill using vMix software. So it's really great. If you don't need 8 channels, you could get the 4-channel version. That's called the Switch 4, and it even comes with a if you want, a Pro bundle, which comes with the Surface for vMix. And there you have all of your buttons. It works with the first 10 inputs that are in vMix, and as well as soft keys that you could set as shortcuts in vMix as well. So it's really, really powerful. It's great on the go. We'll take it with us. We do a lot of political events all over the country, and it's really great to just be able to take it on a plane. That's all you need to do to go live. So yeah, that's we love production bots here. If you guys use production bots, make sure you comment below. We'd love to hear about how you're using it in the field as well. Back to you, Aubrey.
Actually, before you walk away, what's your favorite show you've used production bot on?
Cool. That's a good question. I think USGA was really cool, only in a sense because we got to kind of do everything with the production bots. We got to use it as graphics. We got to use it for playback and ingest, and we also got to use it for encoding. So I think that was probably my favorite, just because it was like a really great case of being able to do all the things. And what I like to say is, because it's a Swiss Army knife of production, even though you want to use all the tools at once in a Swiss Army knife, sometimes when you have every single one out, it makes it a little bit harder to use each of them individually. So we like having multiple production bots. So if it's on a bigger show like USGA, we could kind of swing it into different spots that we want to.
Cool. Great job, Walsh.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for that. Yeah, so it's now time for our segment about you guys. Anna, you want to take it away?
Yeah. So tonight we have Nick Walsh getting a lot of love from Aaron Nagler. I think everybody's excited to see Walsh back, but particularly Aaron, who is Aaron, I'm just going to make up a title, Chief Marketing Person. I'm not sure.
I think he's Content and Social Director.
Content and Social Director. You would know better than me. Oh, okay. So, and then Gaff getting some love. Lots of people happy to see Gaff again. We miss him a lot. And then, of course, some trash talk from Aaron Nagler. They've played Madden for another stream that we do, which is called...
Madden Preview.
Somebody help me. Madden Preview.
Yeah, Madden Preview.
And Gaff has gotten the beat down from Aaron multiple times.
Yeah.
So some Madden trash talk happening.
Madden Preview is for Cheesehead TV, which is another YouTube channel and media site that does all of their content in our studio.
And then Corey Banky said, here we go. He was excited for the production bot demo, so I hope it was very satisfactory. We have a question from Corey. Why use production bot over building your own server running vMix?
Well, I could take this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I'd say it's great because it's way more portable. Yeah, and it's kind of like an all-in-one too. So you don't have to, because if you build your own server, you need to get all the parts and maintain all the parts, and then keep swapping them out. This is nice because it's like an all-in-one, ready to go right out of the box solution. And servers are really hard to move. We have a lot of times we'll show up on site, and even though we have them in a good road case, they'll just vibrate a lot when they're on the plane or on FedEx or something like that, and you'll just see some screws loose and like some parts. We have to like check every server that we send. So it's nice because you just pull this in on a carry-on, just throw it up in the overhead, and you know it's going to be good when you land.
And you don't have to bring a monitor for it either.
And you don't have to bring a monitor for it, yeah, as well. And it comes with a wireless mouse and keys, so yeah, it's like truly right out of the box, ready to go.
Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking about too when we decided to demo this today, is that a lot of the time when I'm speccing a show and I know that there's going to be a lot of travel, and I'm thinking about how can I make this, how can I keep the crew minimal that's traveling, but then we also know we're going to have so many pieces of gear that's going to be traveling, and how do we minimize that? And Production Bot's a good way to do it, instead of doing like a more modular show where you have all of your different pieces that you know you're going to have to travel, and they're probably going to travel separately in Pelicans, and you're going to have to check them, and then you know you only have 2 crew members that are traveling, and they've got 15 cases. Production Bot tends to be a really good option for that, not just to make travel easier, but when you land on location, to not have to worry about many different pieces fitting together. You just have to plug everything into one device.
I couldn't have said it better. That was great.
Let's see here. Corey wants to know more about some of our favorite shows that we've done on Production Bot.
I mean, I like to say, I think I said this last year, we have our own mobile unit for New Year's, and Anna mentioned New Year's last week as one of her favorite shows that we do every year. And we've used Production Bot to replace an EVS system in a truck. So I don't want to give too much away with it, but we do use vMix as our playback system, which is a really cool way to use it, and it is not how it was built to be used. I think the cool thing about Production Bot with it housing vMix is it allows us to be very creative in how we use it.
And so we're all clear we're using it right now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, clearly the right answer is Ready Take Live.
Yeah, so what you're seeing right now on your screen, is a SuperSource out of the ATEM 8K Constellation, and Nick Walsh is running Production Bot for our graphics, and I'm gonna DSK you in and out, Walsh, so they can see.
Okay.
So just the text from Facebook's comments are what is coming in from him right now. He's got a full alpha everywhere else. So that's Production Bot. Anytime you see our uppers, that are uppers instead of lowers now, those are from Production Bot. Any of those images you saw from the UFC when Gaff was talking, those are all Production Bot. Any of the transitions you see where it says Pro Talk or Studio Demo, those are all Production Bot. So it's our graphic system in our studio as well.
Nick McCosey, who we know is an avid Production Bot user, he mentioned that his comment is monitor, keyboard, mouse, all on board one P-Bot and the rollerboard. So yeah, you kit it out with what you need, and you just kind of have one suitcase that you roll onto the plane, with your kind of fragile items. He also wants everyone to know that he beat Gaff at Madden as well.
Most importantly.
When did Nick McCosey beat Gaff at Madden?
He says, and I had the Browns. So he was the Browns, and I assume Gaff was the Bills. So
That sounds like a pretty interesting game. And
Yeah.
defying the odds, Nick McCosey.
I'm going to talk trash and say that I'm surprised that McCosey's good at Madden. It seemed like something he has a lot of time to do.
Totally valid point. Totally valid.
Anyways, that's all the love on chat today.
All right, so we'll do our final segment, Fail No More.
Hooray, which is me. Always act like your comm is open. Save the trash talk for the bar after the show.
That is great. I have messed something up somehow, so one moment.
Whoa, so apropos.
I know,
Apropos
right?
for show.
Apropos for show.
I think we've all probably said something on comms that we wish we could take back.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes it's hard to tell who is listening. Especially like the point-to-point systems that have like forced listen and eavesdropping and stuff like that. It's like hard to be like, I don't know who's actually can hear me right now. And you just even if it is like internal stuff and like nothing like bad, but sometimes it's good to just have pretend that the client is on comm the whole time, so in that way you just don't have any accidents or mistakes or anything like that. And yeah, even if you just want to talk about something internally or something just sensitive subject matter or something, it's better to just do that off comm and take it off channel.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Oh, we're back. Okay.
And and eating. Don't eat on comms.
Yeah. If
That's
you
the
gotta
worst.
Eat, you gotta eat.
Clearcom headsets, man.
Right.
Mic up, you don't hear us anymore. Well, that's it for today. Thank you again for watching, and as always, best of luck on your next live production.
Yay.